At the beginning of the 20th century, the British Empire was the largest territorial power in the world. This empire commanded colonies across 3 continents and had dominance over global trade routes, making it a superpower both economically and militarily. Yet Britain's global supremacy was not solely due to its vast territories or trade networks. It rested significantly on the Royal Navy, the undisputed master of the seas. The Navy served not just as a military force, but as a symbol of national pride. Control of the oceans meant a sense of security for Britain. However, this dominance did not ensure peace. Throughout the 19th century, Britain followed a splendid isolation strategy, avoiding entanglement in European alliances during crises. This policy allowed London the flexibility to intervene on its terms, but it faltered at the century's turn as the global economic landscape shifted dramatically. Germany emerged as a significant industrial rival, rapidly advancing its production capacity and trade power. The United States was also expanding, which challenged Britain's uncontested rule of global trade. Britain was becoming more economically vulnerable. Rivalries intensified with Russia in Central Asia and the Far East, and France sought expansion in Africa, pushing Britain to abandon neutrality and seek alliances. Germany's Kaiser Wilhelm, fascinated by military strength, sought to augment Germany's naval prowess, following Alfred Mahan's philosophies on sea power. This expansion sparked an uneasy rivalry with Britain, culminating in the launch of HMS Dreadnought, a revolutionary battleship symbolizing a new era in naval warfare. The Dreadnought made older battleships obsolete and heralded a technological leap that Britain had to respond to. Germany's aggressive naval plans and the naval arms race intensified political pressures in Britain. The public's demand for a larger navy peaked with the rallying cry for more ships, directly challenging Germany's advancements. This atmosphere of tension fueled crises and a deepening mistrust between the two nations, leading to Britain's eventual abandonment of splendid isolation. Britain signed the Entente Cordiale with France, initially an understanding over colonial interests. However, as the threat from Germany grew, the agreement fostered deeper cooperation. Historical crises, like the Moroccan incidents, forced France and Britain together, aligning their interests against a common adversary. Amid external threats, the internal political landscape in Britain was fracturing. The rise of liberal reforms and welfare laws encountered strong resistance from conservatives and the upper classes, leading to substantial social unrest. Strikes across various sectors called for better wages and working conditions, reflecting the working class's discontent. Suffragettes also became increasingly militant in their pursuit of political rights, complicating the societal landscape. Concurrently, the Irish question continued to brew tensions within the kingdom. The reintroduction of the Home Rule Bill in 1912 ignited fears among Protestant Unionists, leading to the formation of armed resistance. As the clouds of war loomed over Europe, the tensions within the United Kingdom threatened the fabric of the empire itself. Ireland found itself divided into 2 armed camps, preparing for conflict as external wars approached. Thus, even before World War I erupted, Britain faced a delicate balance of internal and external pressures that defined a crucial period in its history. This documentary encapsulates the dramatic story of a superpower caught between the shadows of its past and the uncertainties of its future, setting the stage for World War I. Stay tuned for deeper explorations of this critical moment in history that shaped the world. At the heart of this tumultuous era, Britain's confidence began to waver as voices from within and outside grew louder. Amidst the clamour for social reform, the suffragettes potently championed their cause, demanding a voice in governance, while student movements echoed their aspirations throughout the nation. The factory floors reverberated with calls for labour rights, resonating deeply among the working class, each strike a testament to the growing unrest. Meanwhile, the spectre of war lingered ominously over Europe, pulling Britain into a multifaceted crisis that required a delicate balancing act. Leaders in Westminster pondered how to respond to Germany's naval ambitions while navigating the increasingly complex social landscape, aware that any misstep could lead to dire consequences both abroad and at home. With the weight of external tensions and internal strife bearing down on their shoulders, British leaders began to understand that the old political calculus would no longer suffice. They found themselves in an intricate dance of diplomacy, weighing alliances and military strategies while also contending with the clamorous demands of their citizenry. The news of Germany's expanding navy reverberated throughout the country, prompting public debates and growing concerns about national security and pride. Meanwhile, discussions in Parliament were growing increasingly fraught, caught between those who advocated for a show of strength and others who favoured more conciliatory approaches to avoid escalation. Fear overshadowed optimism as the country braced for what many believed was an inevitable clash with an emerging rival. The shifting tides of public opinion became a central focus as Britain faced these unprecedented challenges. The media, with its sensational headlines, seized upon the rising tensions, framing narratives that stirred patriotic fervour and showcased the prowess of the Royal Navy. Every battle cry for more ships was echoed in the press, the call for increased military spending an alluring proposal to many, but a terrifying prospect for others who envisioned a nationalistic frenzy spiralling out of control. Town halls across the nation became venues for heated debates, where voices, now emboldened by the fight for representation, clashed over the future of Britain's foreign policy and military readiness. The government realized it needed to address these fissures within society while detecting nascent movements that could disrupt the empire's fragile stability. As the threat of war loomed, a sense of urgency permeated the streets of London, with citizens at once rallying for strength while clamouring for justice and equality. Neither fear nor hope could go unaddressed. The looming clash with Germany thus mirrored alchemical transformations within British societal constructs, forging a new identity even as the spectre of war prepared to engulf Europe. The suffragettes escalated their activism, organizing mass rallies and protests that drew public attention and attention from the media. Votes for women became a clarion call that resonated far beyond the confines of traditional politics, challenging societal norms and igniting fierce debates in households across the nation. As women bravely marched through the streets, their demands intertwined with the broader labor movements, revealing the complexity of a society on the brink of monumental change. The intersections of their struggles for rights and recognition reflected a profound shift in the national consciousness, making it clear that as Britain faced external threats, the quest for equity at home could no longer be ignored. Concurrently, the Irish question intensified as the debate over Home Rule deepened rifts within the United Kingdom. Unionists in the north clung to their British identity, fearing the implications of an independent Irish Parliament, while nationalists in the south yearned for autonomy. The introduction of the Home Rule Bill in 1912 became a flashpoint, sending waves of anxiety through Protestant communities. Armed groups formed on both sides, with the Ulster Volunteer Force preparing to resist any potential imposition of Home Rule. Tensions skyrocketed as England grappled with the conflicting loyalties of its subjects, uncertain of how to navigate this internal strife along with external pressures. The looming threat of a continental war mirrored the rising storm at home, where brother faced brother, and the very unity of the empire seemed to hang in the balance. As whispers of war grew louder, all corners of British society braced for a reckoning that felt increasingly inevitable, establishing a backdrop of chaos erupting toward a critical juncture in their history. As these domestic tensions swelled, Britain's leaders recognized the urgent need for decisive action. The public sentiment was pulsating with fear and hope, their voices growing restless amidst rising global tensions. Behind closed doors, strategists plotted a path forward, weighing the imperatives of national security against the tide of social change. It was a moment fraught with uncertainty. The stage was set for a reckoning that would not only reshape Britain, but also redefine the global order. As the winds of war whispered ominously across Europe, each decision made inside Westminster resonated with the potential to alter the course of history. The delicate balance of power teetered on a knife's edge.